All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm going to read from Do You Remember? The selected poems of James Lyons, edited by Robert Cochrane and curated by Robert, who's here today. And I'll just give you a little bit of bump, the background of James. James Lyons is presently missing from anthologies of First World War poets. His work has been forgotten largely because his two collections, Sons of the Empire and Gleamer Pearls, were only published locally and in small editions. They were reviewed sparsely, and with the deaths of his parents, the impetus to keep his legacy alive was extinguished by the late 1920s. It was only when the poet Robert Cochrane uncovered one of his editions in a now closed second-hand bookshop in Didsbury 17 years ago, a book that contained a letter and some newspaper clippings, that the path to where we are now has been forged. Dr. Martin Stephen, the then High Master of Manchester Grammar School and a leading authority on the poets of World War I, admitted he had no idea there had been any poet of that conflict who had attended the school, and Lyons had been a pupil there. James Lyons was born in 1896 in Winton, Manchester, and had his first poem, The Last Call, about the sinking of the Titanic, published by the Manchester City News when he was 15. That newspaper continued to feature and support his work and even gave him a substantial obituary when he died 6 years later. He had already won the Manchester Poetical Society Prize in 1916, a busy and productive year for him that saw 2 stories of his published in Collins' Children's Annual, and the publication of his debut collection, Sons of the Empire, which was just as he enlisted. He could have had a commission, but opted to join the Royal Army Medical Corps as a private. His service only lasted 11 months, and he was invalided out to spend his final year of life by the sea for the sake of his health at Lytham St Anne's. He returned to Salford, where he died, his father by his side, on the 19th of August, 1918, succumbing to the Spanish flu that was raging across Europe. He was 21. James Lyons is buried in Peel Green Cemetery. His grave is unmarked. A century on, his words still retain the freshness and vitality. He was working on an opera when he died. 2 months after his death, his To the Fallen, Gallipoli, was performed by the Beecham Operatic Chorus at the Free Trade Hall. It was enthusiastically received, but there was only his friend Stanley H. Clarke to take a bow as the composer of the music. Sadly, the manuscript of that song has been long lost. 16 artists have set one of Lyons' poems to music, a labour of love and an act of kindness, but one that speaks of the quality and resonance the poetry contains. So I'm going to start by reading. The first poem is called War and was written in 1916. A ruined church, dear heart of God, shattered before the whistling shell. Tall grasses round the nodding gateway nod. My startled voice is like a knell. A gloomy porch, a stagnant pool, beyond the line of crumbling aisle. The altar's wreck, poor blinded fool. I dreamt that God could live and smile. The simple folk who worshipped here a sacrifice to cruel lust. Home, but a thought, a sigh, a tear, a blackened pile of ash and dust. I deemed him just who lives above. I thought he kept an open gate. I deemed him truth. I deemed him love. My empty soul is desolate. Hark to those notes so pure and high that sounds beyond the ivied walls. A lark soars up to greet the sky with melody of rise and fall. O golden throat, your song is vain. There is no God who made the green. Sing rather of the gloom and rain. There is no power of love unseen. I step across the splintered stone, my heart beats loud, a living drum. I stand amid the wreck alone, the organ pipes are bent and dumb. The pulpit where the good priest prayed, a tumbled heap of sculpture lies. The altar flowers lie there decayed, the stinging tears are in my eyes. A holy shrine, yet not a shrine. What God would let his children die who worshipped in his house divine? Be deaf to their bescreeching cry. I watch a gleam of sunlight spread. It lightens up the eastern wall. It glorifies a drooping head. He hangs there still. He does not fall. It rests upon the crown of thorn, upon the hands and wounded side. He looks upon the scene, forlorn, the Son of Man they crucified. It steals across the tender face. It trembles on the lips a while. Silent I watch, nor breathe a space. Oh, miracle, he seems to smile. I see, it is a sign. Our aching woe and bitter loss shall lead us yet to life divine, the golden light beyond the cross. I kneel before the broken rail to bow my head in silent prayer. I hear again the lark's glad tale, the notes that kiss the summer air. Oh, lark, sing on, your song is true. I see beyond this earthly guise. You knew God lived beyond the blue. With you, my fallen faith shall rise. The next one is called Angel of Dawn. It was a pre-war poem. It was written in 1913. There's a time of solemn stillness when the light of early morn mingles with the nighttime shadows and the day is newly born. When the birds' low notes are sounded and the brooding silence breaks, when the world is still a-sleeping, ere to life it reawakes. Then appears the morning angel and, flaming wand held high, touches every cloud with crimson, tinting all the eastern sky. As her garments sweep the treetops, every bird to greet the day sings his songs of morning gladness, for the night has sped away. And the flowers, their dew-wet petals, open as they hear her voice, which is as the soft wind's whisper, causing nature to rejoice. Then the sun, in morning glory, pours to earth his brightest ray, and the rosy buds of morning open unto perfect day. This one is called The Scarecrow and was written in 1912. Oh, here I stand the livelong day, with fluttering rags and outstretched arms, the feathered thieves to scare away and save my master's field from harms. My head is empty, that I know, of rags and broomsticks am I made. But still a servant true am I, to keep my post am not afraid. Though winds may blow, though rains may pour, though sunbeams warm around me play, I keep my post and upright stand, and do my best from day to day. And though the people oft may laugh and think what little good am I, it may be that more than they, to do my best I always try. So take a lesson true from this, although you feel of little good, remember there is work to do for ragged coat and stick of wood. This is called Nature's Child. It was written in 1913. I, said the sunbeam, shall be her hair, and in her loosened tresses wondrous fair shall dwell the radiance of the sun's bright light. I, said the nightingale, give her my song, my purest notes that I can hold so long throughout the stillness of a summer's night. We make her lips, cried out two rosebuds gay, her lips that softly curve in wondrous way, and when she smiles, their red enchantments show. We, said two violets, become her eyes, and in them all the floral magic lies of this deep woodland dell wherein we grow. This one is To the Fallen, Gallipoli, written in 1916. Sleepers all, 'neath the waving grass, is it of guns and war you dream? Hear you the drum in the winds that pass, the bugle note in the wild bird's scream? Is there a haunting, poignant call in the sound of the falling rain, like tears from your loved one's eyes that fall with tender thought and desolate pain? Do you await a bursting shell when the gale sings over your head, a fevered charge in the face of hell when thunder growls and the sky is red? No, you have earned a dreamless sleep, and you lie there at peace and still. No more shall your lifeless pulses leap with burning ire and the lust to kill. Know you, though in your people's heart there is glowing a fierce, glad pride for hero sons who have played their part, who fought for honor and fighting died. Surely the grass will greener grow, sunbeams smile on the nameless sod, where the deathless sleepers lie below, awaiting the bugle call of God. Sleepers all, down the future days, live in the hearts of men you must, for a realm of nobler, wider ways shall spring to life from your splendid dust. This one is called My Boy and was written in 1914. So very helpless and so small thou art, thy downy head is pillowed on my breast, thy tiny fingers twine about my heart, and now I lay thee in thy snug, warm nest. I'll keep thee so, my firstborn joy. I could not ever with my darling part, my baby boy, my baby boy. Dear little lad, with bright curls backward flung, and wisdom dawning in thy clear blue eyes, how sweet thy laugh, and mother from thy tongue each time is still to me a glad surprise. I'll keep thee so, my firstborn joy. I could not ever with my darling part, my sunny boy, my sunny boy. Tall, earnest youth of broad and thoughtful brow, with tenderest love thou dost repay my care. Thou art the stronger and the braver now, a straight young tree that will my frail age bear. I'll keep thee so, my firstborn joy. I could not ever with my darling part, my loving boy, my loving boy. A clarion call rings through the whole wide land. They say old England's honour shall be tried, and thou, my son, wouldst join the soldier band. But thou art all my happiness and pride. I'll keep thee so, my firstborn joy. I would not ever with my darling part. Dear God, my boy, dear God, my boy. He's gone, and I am left alone. I gave the word, my heart seems turned to ice, but nobler, wider feelings than had grown. I learned the blessing of a sacrifice. I might not keep my firstborn joy, and found that I could with my darling part, my soldier boy, my soldier boy. When back they came, the long fierce fighting o'er, to English homes and those who loved them best, through misty tears of pride and joy, I saw the cross of valour pinned upon his breast. I kept thee not, my firstborn joy. God cast thee for a very noble part, my hero boy, my hero boy. The next one is called, it's just simply called Poem 1916. These are the days of war, gigantic days, when every cluttered force of modern man, with all his subtle tricks and learned ways, seems gained but from some purpose that is ill. His reason's spark glows red within the pan, his heart is poisoned with intent to kill. Thus some far God may think, who gazes down, cold and aloof upon the struggling world, viewing mankind with neither smile nor frown, a Christian world of hatred, blood, and tears. The cross pulled down, a demon flag unfurled, an earth where no redeeming light appears. It is not so. We know within our heart Christ loves us still, though we are tempted sore, and to our God would play a traitor's part. Yet maybe all our bitter woe and loss were needed more than dreamt of, aye, far more. It means new life that now we bear the cross. So this one is called Gleam of Pearls. I liked you, dainty maiden, in your pretty satin gown, you elfin thing of airy steps and twirls. On your slender throat of white, how they glimmered all the night, gleam o' pearls. I love you, dainty maiden, in your simple frock of black, with your drooping lids and tumbling wayward curls. In the wet eyes raised to mine, I could see then, softly shine, gleam o' pearls. Just 3 more poems now. I'm going to read The Lady of Whispers, which was written in 1913. Oh, hush thee, my baby, and cease with thy cry. The Lady of Whispers goes wandering by. She brings thee, my baby, a song from the trees, the voice of the evening that sighs in the breeze. She tells thee of starlight, the round harvest moon, 'twill watch o'er thy slumbers, for sleep will come soon. She tells thee of the lambkins that slumbering lie, all o'er the dark meadow, beneath the dark sky. And tales of the magic of moonlight and shade, oh, ne'er of the darkness shalt thou be afraid. Oh, hush thee, my baby, and cease with thy cry. The Lady of Whispers goes wandering by. This one is called My Wish, written in 1916. Long years ago, I wished a wand of magic that I might wave it o'er the tolling land, and all the things that were bitter, hard, and tragic should fade away beneath my soothing hand. But now, now, my page of youth is folded. 'Twas too impulsive, and its schemes too bold. I've learned that hearts of gold or dross are moulded. Without the fire, how should we find the gold? And the last poem now is Do You Remember, written in 1916. Do you remember the days that are over? Long days and golden we spent in the sun, green of the meadow and pink of the clover, magic of laughter and innocent fun. Bond of the sunshine and sea shall unite us, beauty of spring that we shared with a song. Thoughts of those free, happy days shall delight us, never too weary and never too long. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming.